That's a pretty big pop. So to make this ginger beer, we're going to be using natural yeasts from our ginger bug, which is like a starter for ginger beer. And I made this one probably a few months ago at this point. I'm not going to show you how to make this in this video, but I'll put a link up here to another video where you can learn how to make a ginger bug. It's quite easy, but it does take a little bit of time. Inside the ginger bug are loads of natural yeasts that have come from the ginger that we've used to make the ginger bug. That is what's going to carbonate our drink and make it probiotic. When it comes down to it, there's only like 4 ingredients in this. There's the ginger bug, which is just ginger and water, so I guess that kind of cuts out a couple ingredients. Sugar and water. You can also sort of like spice things up by adding extra spices and all that kind of stuff. I might actually add some sweetener just so it's not so dry, but I'll see about that, how it tastes, and we'll decide later on. I fed this last night with just a bit of sugar, so this guy is very active and ready to make a ginger beer. I'm going to be using about 1 liter of water, so I'm going to measure out 200 grams of ginger. By the way, I will be working in grams and milliliters because, let's be honest, it's the only way. We're at 192. If I add this, it's 218. That's close enough. Roughly around 20% of what your water weight is, and 1 liter, 20% of 1 liter is 200. Into the blender, all the ginger, and then my 1 liter of water. We're going to heat this up and simmer it for like 5 to 10 minutes. At this point, you can kind of decide what else you want to put in this for flavor or like seasoning. I've kind of just decided to go with lime, chili, and a bit of stevia, just to add a little bit of sweetness. I'm going to start off with 1 tablespoon of stevia. We'll give that a taste later, and if we need more, we'll add more. I always like to be careful with sweetener because as soon as you add too much, it just tastes like sweetener, and for me, that just completely ruins it. I get asked this all the time about sweetener, whether you can use sugar or honey instead of sweetener. You cannot substitute sweetener. The reason we use sweetener is because it won't be digested and it will stay sweet in the drink. The sugar that we add later will be for carbonation, and that will be food for the yeast, but yeast can't eat sweetener, so the sweetener is there purely to make the drink sweet and taste better. This needs to cool down now to about body temperature or room temperature, so we'll just leave this covered on for who knows how long. While the ginger is cooling off, let's talk about these bottles. These are the bottles we're going to be carbonating in. These are pressure safe bottles, which means they can handle the pressure of carbonating in the bottle. I buy these from a company called Bormioli. They have one specific type of bottle, which is this round one, which is pressure safe, and it says on the website it's pressure safe. One of the main dead giveaways of a bottle not being pressure safe is that if it's not round, because if you've got like a square bottle or something with edges or ridges, then it's not pressure safe. Pressure safe bottles are always round. So if you're going to be carbonating something like this, always use pressure safe bottles. This isn't entirely necessary, but I'm going to be sanitizing these bottles using a brewing sanitizer, which you can buy from any home brewing store. This is a no rinse one, so I can spray it in, let it drain off, and then put my drink in. It's perfectly safe. Make sure to get the little cap as well. Anything that's going to be touching liquid, you want to sanitize. Now I'm just going to drain these on my drying rack, upside down. This isn't completely cooled down yet, but I'm going to take this opportunity to filter this through and get rid of all of the solids in this. So far it's smelling pretty good. You can use cheesecloth or coffee filters. I'm using this sort of single-use cheesecloth, which I found I can buy in Korea, and I think it's pretty good because cleaning cheesecloth is really annoying. Give this a taste, make sure we're happy with it. It's spicy, but I think I'm fairly happy with it. It's not super sweet, but it's sweet enough. I think that's good. We're gonna let this come down to temperature a little bit more before we start bottling it though. If this is too hot, it's gonna kill all the yeast in the starter, which means we won't have any activity at all and no carbonation. So at this moment, there's not much sugar at all in our ginger beer, but we need sugar to carbonate it. So what we're gonna do is gonna add sugar to the bottles, which will act as food for the yeast. The yeast will eat the sugar, produce CO2, and since we're closing the bottles, that's gonna build up pressure inside the bottles and ultimately carbonate this drink. So I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of sugar to each of these bottles before we add the liquid. And this is just regular schmegular brown sugar, not sweetener, no sort of alternative, just sugar. You can use white sugar, brown sugar, dark brown sugar, organic sugar, cane sugar, anything, as long as it's real sugar. I'm gonna be a tiny bit cheeky and add just the littlest amount of citric acid to either of these bottles as well, just to give it a little bit more kick. Literally not even like half a teaspoon. I know we added the lime, but the lime isn't that acidic, and I want a little bit of acidity, but I don't want to add lemon. So citric acid is the next best thing. Now this is cooled off completely. The next thing to do is take our gingerbug starter and then put some in each of these bottles. I always get asked how much gingerbug starter to use whenever I'm doing this, and the answer is I just kind of go about 2 inches off the bottom of the bottle. My gingerbug is really strong, so I don't need a lot of it to carbonate some ginger beer. My gingerbug starter has some bits in it, so I'm going to use a sieve with a funnel. It's about 2 inches from the bottom there. Now, if your gingerbug starter isn't as strong, you can always add more. Now we'll just top up these bottles with our ginger beer, leaving about 1 inch or 2 at the top of each bottle, because if you don't do that, when you open it, it's gonna blow. Give these a little shake to get all that sugar mixed in and that citric acid. I'm going to leave these at room temperature for first a day. With my gingerbug starter being as strong as it is, I've had these carbonate in just a day. And it's quite warm right now here in South Korea. It's like 25 to 30 degrees Celsius because it's the summertime. Inside the house is quite warm, so these could carbonate really quick. But what I am going to do is maybe twice a day, I'm going to burp these, which is just doing this. Opening it up, letting some gas out, and closing it. By doing that once or twice a day, I can see how much pressure is building up. Once I'm happy with the amount of pressure building up, I'll close it for another few hours and then move them to the fridge. Because when you open these, you want these to be completely cold. Because if these are at room temperature, they're way more likely to go off like a rocket. Once it's cold, you open it, the carbonation should stay in the liquid. So I'll see you in a day or two. I reckon it's gonna be a day, maybe it's gonna be 2 days. Depends how carbonated we want these. And then in the meantime, with my gingerbug starter, I've still got quite a bit of this liquid in there, so you know, I can go ahead and make a few different drinks, or I can put this in the fridge to kind of like slow it right down so it won't over ferment, or I can add more liquid to it, a bit more sugar. I found that after a certain point, you don't need to add any more ginger to this. I just add sugar to it to sort of like reactivate it and then put it in the fridge to store it. It is officially the next day, and I wasn't completely expecting it to happen this fast, but it did happen this fast. These bottles are carbonated, so we're gonna open them and try them out. How do I know that they're carbonated? Because I burped them. When I burped them, they gave off quite a bit of gas, so I closed it up again, let them sit for a couple more hours, and I put them in the fridge. So these should be ready to go, nicely carbonated, not too carbonated, but like a sort of like a light carbonation. Despite filtering this through, we do have a bit of sediment at the bottom, but you know what? That's just gonna be ginger, so that's totally fine to drink as well. That's a pretty big pop. You can see all the bubbles coming up there. Let's give this a taste. It smells really fresh, gingery. Sometimes when you make these carbonated drinks, the smell can be a bit not nice, but this smells amazing. You know, that's really good. Not super gingery, but it's got the spice and it's got the heat from the chilies. It's a little bit sweet from the sweetener that I added. Don't get too much lime though, but this, it could be a bit colder, but this turned out really, really good. I'm gonna leave this one to carbonate a little bit more, so I'm gonna put this one back out again. While I was at it yesterday, I also made another one, different flavor, wasn't a ginger beer. What I did was I brewed some black tea and then blended it with some tart cherries and then added a little bit of sweetener to it. So this is a black tea and tart cherry soda. So let's open this one up. So not as many bubbles coming off of this one, but earlier when I burped this was just as carbonated. Oh, now the bubbles are starting to come up. But let's give this one a try too. In my experience, making sodas from tea is really, really tasty. This one doesn't look very carbonated, but I'm sure it feels a bit carbonated. Smells really nice. It's really tasty, really smooth. The tea and the cherry really balance each other out. I think this one turned out maybe even better than the ginger beer. Yeah, that's how to make carbonated sodas. Make sure you give it a try yourself.